$1 million for having a baby? The truth will shock you. Alina, still weak from childbirth, stands in the cramped hallway of her apartment, holding her newborn daughter. She opens the mailbox to check for bills but finds a thick envelope instead. Inside is a check for $1 million. No sender's name, just a short note scrawled in red marker, "For your child." Her heart stops. A joke? A mistake? She turns to call her husband, Andre, but he's already in the doorway, pale as a ghost. His hands tremble, his eyes dart. "Alina, we're in trouble," he whispers as a loud knock echoes from the door. Alina clutches her daughter, panic tightening her throat. "Who's that?" she asks, but Andre just shakes his head, avoiding her gaze. The knock comes again, insistent, almost menacing. She notices Andre instinctively step back toward the kitchen, as if to hide. "It's not what you think," he mutters, his voice shaky. Alina feels the floor slip from under her. $1 million. For her child? Her baby? She glances at the check. It's real, stamped by a bank, her name printed clearly. But why? She and Andre are an ordinary young couple, living in a modest 2-room apartment, barely making ends meet. Where did this money come from? And why does Andre look like he knows more than he's saying? The knocking grows thunderous. Alina steps back, her thoughts spiraling. She recalls how Andre has been avoiding talk of her pregnancy lately, how he got nervous when she joked about rich relatives. "Open the door, Andre," a low, cold voice booms from the hall. Alina sees her husband flinch but not move. She wants to scream, demand answers, but something in his behavior, the way he avoids her eyes, the way his fingers grip the table, silences her. This isn't a joke. This isn't a mistake. It's something far worse. She slips the check into her pocket, holding her daughter tighter. "Tell me the truth." "Now," she whispers, but Andre looks away. The knocking stops, but the silence is even more terrifying. Alina realizes, whatever is happening, she can't even trust her own husband. Her life, her family, her child, everything is at risk. And she will find out why. Alina stands in her kitchen, clutching the $1 million check, unable to believe her husband knows more than he's letting on. The note, "For your child," sounds like a threat. Who was knocking? Why is Andre so scared? She recalls how, over the past few months, Andre grew increasingly withdrawn. He avoided talking about the baby, got jittery when she asked about his job. Once, she caught him on the phone in the middle of the night, whispering in the bathroom. She chalked it up to stress then, but now it feels different. What is he hiding? Could it involve their daughter? Fear mixes with anger. She can't just sit and wait for things to sort themselves out. Alina decides to act carefully. She won't make a scene or betray her suspicions. Instead, she'll watch Andre, search for evidence, uncover the truth. She hides the check in an old jewelry box under the bed and checks the door. The lock is intact, but she adds a chain for safety. Her daughter sleeps in her crib, and Alina swears to herself, no one will take her baby, no matter what. She starts recalling details she previously ignored. Andre often stayed late at work but never shared specifics. His phone was now locked with a new password, though he used to leave it open. Once, she saw him quickly hide some papers when she entered the room. It seemed trivial then, but now every memory is a piece of a puzzle she must assemble. Alina sits at the table, holding a cup of cold coffee. She won't sleep tonight, too many questions. Why is the check addressed to her, yet Andre looks guilty? Could this be tied to her pregnancy? She remembers how Andre insisted on handling all the medical paperwork, how he drove her to a doctor she only saw once. Her stomach churns at the thought that she might have signed something without reading it. She looks at her sleeping daughter and feels resolve ignite within her. She won't let anyone threaten her family. Tomorrow, she'll start digging, check Andre's phone, his emails, ask neighbors if they've seen anyone suspicious. She doesn't know what she'll face, but one thing is clear, the truth is hiding nearby, and she'll find it. Alina wants to confront Andrei about the check-in note, but he comes home late, exhausted and irritable. Not now, Alina, I'm drained, he snaps, avoiding her eyes. His behavior only fuels her suspicions. So, she waits until he's asleep and steals his phone. In the dark, holding her breath, she enters the password, the date of their wedding, which he hasn't changed. There's a message from an unknown number, money's coming tomorrow. Don't even think about running. A chill runs down her spine. She scrolls through the chat, but the messages are brief, nameless. Everything's on track, she can't know, awaiting confirmation. Her hands shake as she snaps photos of the screen with her phone. What's the plan? Who's she? Is it her? Their daughter? She wants to wake Andrei and scream, but she holds back. If he's lying, he no longer trusts her. She has to be smarter. The next morning, Andrei acts like nothing happened. He kisses her cheek, plays with their daughter, but Alina notices his eyes keep darting to the door. She pretends to be calm, makes breakfast, but her mind races around the messages. She recalls how Andrei insisted on a private clinic during her pregnancy. It's the best for you and the baby, he said. But why did he rush to sign all the paperwork himself? Alina decides to check his laptop while he's in the shower. She finds a folder hidden under work_2024. Inside is an email from a clinic she's never heard of, agreement confirmed. Awaiting birth. The email is dated a month before her delivery. Alina feels the ground shift beneath her. An agreement? What agreement? She copies the file to a flash drive, her heart pounding. She remembers how Andrei insisted she not talk to the doctors directly. I'll handle everything, he said. She thought it was care, but now every action feels like part of a web of lies. She doesn't know who he owes money to or what "don't run" means, but one thing is clear, he's dragged them into something dangerous. Alina hides the flash drive in a baby diaper and puts the laptop back. She can't trust Andrei, but she can't just leave, not with a newborn. She needs evidence, a plan, protection. She looks at her daughter, sleeping peacefully, and vows, she'll figure it out, even if it means facing her own husband. Alina tries to recall if she signed anything during her pregnancy, but all documents went through Andrei. He insisted it was easier that way. So, she focuses on details she previously overlooked. That evening, while Andrei steps out for groceries, she searches his drawer. Inside are new, expensive watches he never wore and a pawnshop receipt for her old ring, a gift from her grandmother. Anger mixes with fear. She never allowed that ring to be sold. Why did Andrei do it secretly? She checks the receipt's date, 2 months before the birth. That was when he started acting strange, avoiding her gaze, locking himself in another room for work calls. She recalls catching him counting cash once. He quickly hid it, mumbling about a bonus. She moves to the closet where Andrei keeps his work papers. The lock is simple, and she picks it with a hairpin. Inside is a folder of documents she's never seen. One is a contract with her signature, but the slash she feels her stomach drop. She snaps photos of the document, her fingers trembling. She recalls how Andrei insisted on tests at that private clinic. It's for the baby's health, he said, but why only her, not him? She copies the documents to a flash drive, hiding it in a diaper bag. Her thoughts race. Did Andrei sell something tied to their daughter? What? To whom? When Andrei returns, Alina acts normal but notices him checking the closet, as if sensing something's off. She pretends to be busy with the baby, but her mind is on overdrive. She recalls him talking about a new life and big opportunities. She thought it was about his career, but now it feels like part of a lie. Alina decides not to confront him. She needs more evidence, to know who's behind the contract and why her signature was forged. She can't trust Andrei, but she can't accuse him outright. He might destroy evidence or drag her deeper. She looks at her daughter and knows, for her, she's ready for anything. Alina calls the clinic listed in the contract, but they say they need an agreement code to share information. The voice on the line is cold, professional, but something about it makes her shiver. So, she decides to follow Andre. The next day, when he says he's going to a meeting, she takes the baby in a stroller and trails him, keeping her distance. She sees him enter a downtown cafe. Waiting there is a woman in an expensive suit, her hair perfectly styled. Alina hides around the corner, watching through the window. The woman hands Andre a folder and speaks, her face serious. Alina catches a snippet as the cafe door opens. The child is our asset. Her heart stops. She snaps a photo of the woman, trying not to be seen. Back home, Alina examines the picture. The woman looks like a businesswoman, but her cold smile feels familiar. Alina recalls seeing a similar woman near the clinic during a checkup. Andre hurried her away, saying it was just a patient. She starts to suspect the clinic isn't just a medical facility. Alina tries to recall details of her clinic visits. Everything was too sterile, too perfect. The doctors rarely made eye contact, and tests were done without explanation. Andre was always there, insisting everything's under control. The puzzle is forming, and it's terrifying. Could her pregnancy have been part of an experiment? She reviews the contract again. It mentions genetic material and exclusive rights. Alina's no expert, but the words sound like science fiction. She remembers Andre once joking about designer babies for the rich, but she brushed it off. Now, his joke feels sinister. Alina knows following Andre is risky, but she can't stop. She notices him getting nervous when she asks about his day. His answers grow vague, and he never lets his phone out of his grip. She decides to be more cautious. She hires a taxi to track him and logs all his routes. She needs proof to understand who this woman is and what asset means. She looks at her daughter, smiling in her sleep, and feels strength rising within her. She won't let anyone take her baby. Alina wants to tell a friend about her suspicions, but she's scared it could endanger her and her daughter. If Andre's caught up in something big, any mistake could be costly. So, she contacts a hacker through a darknet forum. For $500, he hacks the clinic's database. 2 days later, Alina gets a file. The clinic isn't a medical facility but a front for illegal deals involving genetic material. Her daughter is listed as an agreement object. Alina reads the file, her world collapsing. It describes an exclusive genetic profile ordered by an unknown client. Her name is listed as a donor, though she never consented. The agreement is signed by Andre, with her signature forged. She recalls how he insisted on tests before the birth, claiming it was for safety. She scrolls further and sees the amount, $1 million as a first payment. There's also a clause about ongoing control over the child, requiring regular medical checkups and data provision. Alina feels sick. Her daughter isn't just a child to someone, she's a commodity. She recalls the woman in the cafe. The child is our asset. Alina tries to focus. She can't go to the police without proof. Who'd believe her husband sold their baby? She checks the hacker's messages. He warns the clinic is tied to a powerful organization with law enforcement connections. Alina knows she needs a plan, but first, more information. She remembers Andre getting late-night calls. Once, she overheard him whisper, "I'll do everything, just leave them alone." She thought it was about work, but now it's clear, he was scared for them. But why didn't he tell her? Why go through with it? Alina copies the file to multiple flash drives, hiding them in different places, with a friend, in a safe, inside a baby toy. She can't risk losing the evidence. She starts recording all her talks with Andre on a hidden dictaphone in her pocket. His behavior grows more paranoid. He checks windows, locks doors multiple times. She looks at her daughter and swears, she'll find out who's behind the deal and destroy them. Alina tries to gather more evidence, but Andre notices her suspicion. He starts checking her phone, tracking where she goes. Once, he snaps, "Were you looking in my closet?" Alina barely hides her panic, smiling and changing the subject. So, she contacts a lawyer her friend trusts. handing over copies of all documents. She also arranges a temporary safe place in case she needs to flee. The lawyer, looking concerned, says, "This sounds serious." He advises gathering more evidence and avoiding confronting Andrei until she's protected. Alina agrees, but her thoughts revolve around her daughter. She can't let the organization behind the deal get near her child. She starts noticing surveillance around their apartment. A black sedan parks nearby several times a week, and once, she sees a man in dark sunglasses photographing their window. Alina pretends not to notice, but her fear grows. She buys a burner phone for anonymous calls and asks the hacker to check who owns the clinic. The hacker sends new info. The clinic is a front for an international network trading genetic assets for wealthy clients. Alina reads names, politicians, tycoons, even a famous scientist. Her daughter, per the documents, was ordered due to her rare genetic profile, found during tests. Alina recalls Andrei insisting on extra tests, saying it was a free program. She starts to suspect Andrei wasn't just blackmailed. Maybe he did it for money. She remembers him dreaming of a better life, hinting they'd soon buy a house. But why not tell her? Anger overtakes fear. Alina photographs the sedan and sends the pictures to the lawyer. She begins packing essentials, documents, baby clothes, some cash. She doesn't know when she'll need to run, but she wants